aspirants, this is Kalyan. Welcome to ASHOK NAGAR Pep Talks episode 1. So this is a new innovative discussion platform that we are trying to develop in ASHOK NAGAR for the sake of aspirants so that they will get a good amount of clarity on how to go about the preparation. Today we have with us Mr. Gautam sir, and we are about to discuss the learn answer writing with previous year question module. Okay. So hi Gautam.
Hello, sir.
So how are you?
Doing good, sir.
Yeah. So as you know, I have some queries on behalf of students. I would like you to address them, right? So the first query is, see, I have been in the preparation from last 3 years. I have written multiple prelims. I couldn't clear the prelims. So or probably I have written my first mains recently. In this time, in the month of October, where students might be thinking to move to prelims, okay, how important is it for me to focus on the previous year mains questions? How will it help me for prelims and mains or in my overall preparation?
Sir, I think one fundamental thing that I would like to put my observation before is the most neglected dimension of UPSC preparation. What I observed being a mentor, writing this exam multiple times, is so many neglect previous year questions. And they think that UPSC has anyway asked this question. Why should I read it again? Because they think that UPSC is something beyond, which definitely most of the aspirants would adulate for. But one thing that we have to definitely understand, that UPSC has a specific syllabus. And when we have to look at what is the template of the kind of questioning that is being asked from that syllabus, because syllabus is open-ended. And when we have to objectify the syllabus and when we have to restrict the preparation nature and draw a boundary for our preparation, PYQs are the key, sir. Because that might be with my personal experience of writing multiple mains, or that might be with respect to the experience of my students. Hope you also been a mentor for a long time, and you were also one of my mentors, I know. So in that context, what happens is we see that previous year questions are going to become a signboard of preparation first. The second thing, previous year questions are going to limit what we are going to read. For suppose, I'll just take a case in point here. Now, there is a topic called Parliament. Now, here what happens is, most of the UPSC aspirants make the standard books as their syllabus, but they do not search syllabus in the standard books. Right? So, what happens is there is a mismatch that is seen with respect to the demand of the exam, and that is why most of the aspirants struggle so much in clearing mains examinations because of this mismatch. Suppose if you look at chapter called Parliament, when we look at previous year questions, there are certain areas which are definitely emphasized by UPSC. For suppose, parliamentary privileges, right? Parliamentary disqualifications, then anti-defection, then parliamentary committees, parliamentary accountability systems, office of speaker. So what is going to happen is when I see my PYQs, I know that I need to emphasize upon these topics more. One. The second thing that will enable me to do when I do things with PYQs is it will make me know what is an important dimension in a topic. For suppose, if I am studying geomorphology in geography, or for suppose if I am studying, say, some environmental dimension. Now, when I look at this environmental dimension, I know that I study the chapter called climate change. But generally, when I look at the nature of the questioning in the context of climate change, it is majorly driven by climate policies. Because, for example, if you look at 2021, there was something which is related to COP26.
So that small insight will help me find the respective syllabus in the book. Instead of reading the book in entirety, I will focus on the policy aspect.
Definitely, sir.
And that probably will also help me in prelims. So that is what you are saying.
Definitely. Now I also mean to say here, we are not here for academics. Because UPSC at the end of the day is an exam, so it is never
journalistic exam, right?
Journalistic exam, it is never a learning degree. So in that context, more than an academic oriented content, what we need to focus upon is exam oriented content is what is right.
As we usually say in the classes, don't do PhD on this topic. Prepare for 250 words. That's enough.
Very true, sir.
So that question, by having questions in the mind, you will read in a very limited fashion, and that will help you.
True.
Right now, one basic question is, when I am not clearing prelims on a regular basis, why should I be focused on mains perspective? right? I have a phobia of prelims. So why should I join the previous year mains program? How will it help me for prelims?
Now, I mean, talking to number of students, I think from past few days I've been doing it after the exam. One common observation that I see again is they say, sir, from last 2 attempts I'm not clearing prelims.
Exactly.
From last 3 attempts I'm not clearing prelims.
Mm.
Sir, last 4 attempts I'm not clearing prelims.
Mm.
So there was one student
Mm.
last year who had come. He could not clear prelims for 3 years and glad that he had written mains this year.
Fantastic.
So when we look at this fundamental process, what happens is prelims becomes a very, very big blockade. So in that context, it fundamentally seizes the mind of the aspirant saying, Arey Babu, prepare only for prelims. Prepare only for prelims. Prepare only for prelims. And to a larger extent, to my utter surprise, I've seen number of mentors outside who misguide the students saying that start preparing for prelims from June onwards. Now, logically, I don't find a point in the sense that this examination has a cycle. I think we have prelims in June or May, we have mains in September, and we'll have interview and followed by next cycle. Now, here what we have to understand is per se if I take 2 aspirants, per se aspirant A and aspirant B. Aspirant A is only focusing on prelims from June onwards, or per se from November onwards he is doing prelims. Aspirant B is fundamentally following the cycle of the exam. So once he had finished May prelims, although he could not clear, with the cycle in September, till September he was doing his mains. Now what we see here is there are 2 different kind of ideologies. Mindsets. When we look at candidate A, what he tries to do is he tries to only focus on objective.
His mind is tuned only to things in a narrow view.
But whereas when you look at candidate B, till September, October he does mains, he does his own part. In November, December, January, he fundamentally does consolidation. And coming to this program, what you were talking about, that learn through PYQs, that is especially the mains module, which is going to be starting from October 16th. Our part is making the business of the candidate be easy. Keep the things consolidated. In the sense that we are going to discuss roughly around 300-400 PYQs. Now, when we discuss 300-400 PYQs, I don't find any business of you fundamentally going out of this, because we have a consolidated material. Because 400 pages of consolidated material with data points, with introductions, with structure, with conclusions, with generalizations, with crisis management. When we have all of this in 400 pages, and I think that's a very, very big asset to a candidate.
So, to address my own question, what I believe is prelims is subset of mains. So, when your knowledge of mains increases, automatically that knowledge is supposed to help you in prelims. So, through these 400 questions, you will establish a very nice foundation, base.
True.
Standing on the base, you can construct a very tall building, right?
Definitely, sir.
That in a less amount of time, you are going to get huge amount of knowledge that too tailor suited for the previous year questions.
True.
So that's fantastic. And lastly, how will this help a good student become a better student in answer writing? What are the insights that he's going to get in their course?
True. Now here one thing, sir.
I mean, speak more like in the terms of insight, because everybody is a mentor nowadays. Everybody is saying right answers, do PYQs. It has become a fish market more or less.
True.
Again, without criticizing anyone individually, but there has been a trend that just practicing previous year questions will make you sharp. I don't believe doing previous year questions, you are doing it for content. There must be some insight. So, as an aspirant, as a mentor, what are your insights that student will gain?
Sir, fundamentally, when you look at answer writing, it is not practice of answer writing, but it is art of answer writing. It is fundamentally considered as an art. One. The second thing is we have to understand that answer writing is not seen like a graduation answer writing where you dump content. Here, the fundamental art in UPSC is we have some basic content. We are fundamentally contextualizing the basic content to the demand of the question. One. very, very big challenge which is commonly seen among aspirants.
Hmm.
If a question is being asked on slum proliferations, people write about urbanization and come out.
Hmm.
So in that context, one dimension is how to contextualize the content that you have is going to be definitely dealt in the session.
Value addition.
Value addition.
Hmm.
The second thing that is going to be dealt in the session is people do not know how to use value addition.
Hmm.
Because what happens is, I think in the market there has been a buzzword which has been going on that they say value addition, value addition, value addition. But people in the name of the value addition fundamentally forget the main content.
Hmm.
So the organic way of incorporation of value addition in the form of charts, in the form of maybe some diagrams, in the form of maps, in the form of data. So there'll be sets of data which will be given for topics where you can definitely put in data.
So it's like you are going to help them channelize their content on various parts of the presentation, like when to use a diagram, why to use a diagram.
Definitely.
The value addition is not only value addition, it's impact creation.
Impact creation.
That is the biggest
True.
takeaway.
Especially the visual representation part.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing is, people do not know how to use these reports.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do? For everything they write second ARC. For everything
Conclusion.
for everything they write Niti Aayog.
Mm-hmm.
But fundamentally we have to understand, sir, economic surveys of last 4 or 5 years is
It's
a
a
very
vast
big
pressure. Yeah.
deposit. For example, we talk about, for example, this year there was one question with respect to human development and economic development, mismatch in GS1. In that question, just imagine the kind of impact that you create when you write a word called resource curse, which was discussed in economics. For example, this year there was one question on MSMEs, the first question of GS3. In that question, whenever you are discussing about the challenges of MSME, you talk about industrial dwarfism, which is fundamentally again this economic survey. Then, for suppose we are talking about the aspects like the market policies and the cropping diversity. For example, if I'm not on question number 13 in GS3, there, if you talk about a concept called cobweb phenomena, which was discussed in Economic Survey 2020. So, fundamentally, what is going to happen is we are going to pick those things and keep them and consolidate. Are Babu, we said this is the way we use it.
It's like even learning the weightage of keywords and the value of keywords in the right place. People probably don't even know terms like whole of society approach, whole of government approach.
True.
So probably all these new insights will come into the picture. That's very nice, Gautam. Do you want to ask anything, or do you want to add anything on your own to the discussion?
I wanted to always ask you, as you have been a senior mentor, what is your actual perception on answer writing, sir? I mean, is it a cup of tea for everybody?
Yeah.
Or does it actually demand some kinds of ingredients which are to be put? And which do you think that our course, whatever I discussed about our course now, will it be helpful?
So I personally believe that creativity is cup of tea for some people. For some people, writing with a flair, writing organically to the demand of the question comes very naturally. For the rest of us, including me, we have to take inspiration. When somebody shows me, you can also write like this, you can draw like this. Okay, my brain is like, wow, why am I not doing this? That inspiration comes from, let's say, Anandit University copies or any other topper copies. The moment we see, we take an inspiration, and when someone senior to me or some in-service candidate or mentor or somebody guides me, Arey, you have good content, you can channelize it like this, I think I will get better. Because creativity is something that may not come to me naturally, but I can adapt, I can take inspiration. So taking inspiration is a good thing, right? As they say, imitation is the highest form of flattery. So answer writing, structure wise or presentation wise, I will take the inspiration. Whereas when it comes to the content part, I believe how you think is how you write. Somebody has to tell me, this is all you need to think. Like you need to think about challenges, way forward, how to use committee reports. They are creating a perspective in my mind. The moment somebody like you creates a perspective in my mind and some topper will inspire me through the presentation, that's a deadly combo, right?
It's an amalgamation.
Amalgamation, right? That will create something like a synergy. I might go even better, right? So for me, that is answer writing.
Very true, sir. I mean, here you mentioned one word. Thinking is writing. What you think is what you write.
Right. How you think is how you write.
in this particular course, we are fundamentally going to channelize what is going to come to your head when you see a question.
Exactly. Blueprint, the proto answer, right?
Because what happens with the model answers in the market,
Mm.
or what happens with some of the mentors suggesting the model answers,
Mm.
it is merely focusing on content at all.
Mm.
But that is not what is going to be important when you're writing an answer.
Exactly.
Because, for suppose, like, if suddenly there is a question talking about National Wetland Conservation Program, which is a more prelims oriented question than a mains oriented question, it becomes really difficult for you to write a 15 marker there. In that context, what happens is what is going to come to your head when you see that question is going to be channelized in these sessions. So I think for those who are really serious, because one fundamental question is those who are preparing for prelims now need to understand that what after prelims.
Exactly. The bottom line is, okay, Anna, prelims clear in the after 4 years you successfully cleared prelims, do you want to fail in mains? Okay, if not, it's high time that you invest 1 or 2 months on mains preparation, so that when you go to the exam hall, at least you might get an interview call. And then the rest is
scenarios will change. Definitely, at least
perspectives will change. At least you will know what is Dolpur House first hand.
True.
Right?
True.
So, and I personally say, once you sit in the mains hall, when you see the paper, really, okay, your perspective will change forever in UPSC. You don't have to be pushed, you will push yourself.
True.
Right?
I think tasting that flavor of mains itself is
the beautiful thing that will
beautiful.
happen. So I clearly remember that, right? Okay, Gautam. I think that we have provided enough insights for the students. So just to sum up the discussion, we are going to launch a mains previous year question discussion papers. The paper will be discussed. Each paper will be having around 80 questions, and the program will continue till November 25th. Like 1 day, 2-hour sessions in the evening. Happily you can come, learn, and go back to your classes or whatever. At the same time, you can mix your prelims preparation and mains preparation also, right? So come to Amigos IAS, you can meet me or Gautam sir anytime. You can take all the help you need, right? So hope this Ashok Nagar Prep Talk episode 1 was helpful to you. Don't hesitate to give us feedback in the comment section. All the very best. Jai Hind.
Thank you.